6 days since the August election, and you may have noticed a lot of campaign signs are still up. But according to the Knox County law, some of those signs should already be down.
WBIR 10 News anchor Daniel Sexton joins us now to help explain why they are still up. Daniel?
Robin and John, when it comes to state law and whose responsibility it is to take down these signs, things get a little complicated.
Sun or rain, the signs remain. And if you work here, that's frustrating.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Political signs are the bane of my existence. We are not the sign police. The Election Commission has no jurisdiction over any political signs on the other side of that 100-foot boundary, and that only happens at polling places and during early voting.
Past 100 feet or away from polling places, a different story.
It's incumbent, in my view, on those candidates or their supporters to remove those signs in a timely manner.
But that's where it gets tricky. Everyone has to remove school ground signs by 7 a.m. the next morning. Candidates who win a primary can keep other signs up through the general election in November. Those who lose have 5 days to take them down in Knox County, but the state gives candidates 3 weeks.
People are calling us complaining about their placement, how big they are, they're blocking views in intersections.
In Farragut, it's hard to find a sign. The town takes them up on town property immediately after an election and has a 5-day limit everywhere else. In a statement, the town said all candidates know about our sign ordinance, so we haven't had to call anyone yet. Since breaking most of these laws has no major consequences, the Knox County Commission hopes good old civic pride will do the enforcing.
Everybody needs to step up and do what the law and I think our citizens here expect, and that's to remove those political signs after an election.
Rogers told me that usually the signs that come down last are the ones for the candidates that lost. And if you're thinking about throwing your sign away, we should mention to you that they are recyclable. Guys.
That's good to hear. Hopefully they'll do it. Thanks so much.
Knox County